Hello everybody, this format has returned for this video and I'm going to explain why. So this video we're going to be talking about the Time Lost Citadel. It's a post-apocalyptic level 2 adventure for Mutant Crawl Classics. Here's the back. This is about 60 pages, okay? And it was a successful Kickstarter, and in the inside cover you've got a map of the area, and then on the back, on the end cover here, you've got another map. Pretty cool. So this video will be spoiling it for anyone that might play it. And so I wouldn't watch this video if you might think you might play it. But for those that might be interested in it, I'll have a link down in the description. You'll find down there for the PDF and the print. And the reason I'm doing it like this is because they've incorporated some stuff that came with the Kickstarter into the PDF and the print. So I've got the Kickstarter, but I want to tell you about what you get if you can actually order it now, and that's going to be on Drive-Thru RPG. So it came with this double-sided map. All right, pretty cool. And inside, it's got the Time Lost Citadel. That's going to be where a lot of your adventure is. And then on the inside, it's got the Martian Step Pyramid, where you will also be having a lot of your adventures. And then you'll have these red caves. The caves of the Red Planet, like these little drawings down there. Very cool. But one of the very cool things it came with was a 63-page little mini book here called The Field Guide to the Red Planet. And it's got a lot of information for hex crawling on the Red Planet, on Mars, with some art and stuff like that. So what they did was they took the map, they took this, and they put it inside the adventure for about 130 pages. Now, I'm going to switch over right now to the PDF. As you can see, boom, there we go. So a little bit of magic there. And there we go. Now, one of the things I wanted to show is that since they incorporated, I wanted you to be able to see exactly how they incorporate it into the book. And it's going to make it, I think, it's probably going to be a better product, honestly, than what the Kickstarter has. Even though this little book right here is very, very cool. So there's the cover, a lot of purple, guys are busting through, got these Martian turds. And so, yes, this is set on Mars. So this is a way for your level 2 adventurers, your seekers from Mutant Crawl Classics, to get onto Mars and have a mini setting. So while this is an adventure, I'm not going to be going through all of it because it's just a lot of stuff, because it's also a mini setting. So I don't like doing videos that are like an hour long and stuff, really breaking it down, and y'all don't want to really probably have that time to sit there and watch it, but let's go ahead and hit the key points. So it's got dozens of new alien beasts. That's pretty cool. It's got 5 enclaves. There's 5 factions that are vying and making moves here on the Red Planet. 10 new spells, a way to introduce magic into your MCC world. There is the pocket guide, and it says a pulp-style romp through the time-lost Citadel itself and the pyramid at its center. And then there is the double-sided poster map, which of course, again, incorporated into the book. So I like this piece of art here because it shows the pyramid in the distance. It shows the way that landscape is. And I think for all things that are showing you something that is maybe a different location, something you may not be used to, I like having a good piece of art there that shows it. Kind of a distant shot. So very cool. And here's some more of the art here. And this is written by Lewis Hoffer. I hope that's the way you say your name. I apologize if not. So you got your table of contents here. And this is a Sword and Planet adventure. So what is that? That means it's stuff like John Carter of Mars or Flash Gordon. And I really like those. Those are cool. And you might find it quite differently than the adventures you might have on Terra. And so it is a tough challenge to be sure, and a party of 4 to 6 second level characters are only likely to complete it through diversity, resource management, and cunning strategy. And then it says, for those arriving late to the movie, this is the sequel to the adventure called Seekers of the Unknown, which I have not read, so I can't vouch for, but this, of course, can be played completely by itself, so that's cool. So what's going on in the adventure? What's the backdrop? And this font here, for me, is a little bit difficult to read sometimes. But that's just it's just me. It says the Red Planet is not unlike Terra. Long before cataclysms had set the denizens of Terra back to their foundations, perhaps before the arrival of intelligent life altogether, the Red Planet was home to a race of Martians steeped in mysticism and worshipping an eldritch creature professing to be a god. And so they had 2 castes of people, the ritualists and then the breeder castes. And the lambs, as it would, they soon grew wise to the slaughter. There was a revolt, but the ritualists wielded the power of sorcery, and the breeders knew their plight was set like stone. Their only recourse was to destroy themselves, thus turning the wrath of the cultist evil god against their oppressors, and perhaps jar their culture free from the tyrant. And in the absence of the ritual offerings, the mystic being unleashed terror on the Red Planet. It called forth elementals beings that boiled the planet's atmosphere and blew away its fertile soils and ravaged the foundations on which the planet is set. So it pretty much destroyed the planet of Mars. But many of the ritualistic cultists, they were able to use their magical energies to retain and to wrest the city from time inside a limbo realm, where they continue to search for ways to appease their diabolic patron and return to the glory of their antiquity. So it stayed like that for a real long time. And these creatures, I think they're called like Distragists. I'm not exactly sure how you say this word. They invaded Earth, Terra, and they were pursued by Earth's defense forces. And when they went back into the portal, or however they got there, they went into the pyramid and they were captured and sacrificed. These soldiers, it began, to capture them. And he says, yes, the foul beast was quite pleased with the rich blood of these Terra-born men, but more lives would be needed if the cultists wished to reverse the insult delivered by their previous lack of sacrifices. So these Martians have pretty much tricked their way in to try to get mutated survivors of the post-apocalypse to try to come to Mars so that they may drain their life forces. And that's pretty much how it starts off the adventure. So it says, what am I supposed to do with this thing anyway? Well, this is one thing's cool. They've obviously pushed one line the hardest, it says, and this is Pawns of the Martians. Exactly kind of what I talked about, that these ruling Martians can drain the powerful mutant life essence to procure more magic. They are led into an ambush and likely to be taken prisoner by the Martians, and it's just a way for them to be able to, in essence, be backstabbed. There is then the survival and return. You're going to survive the deadly surface of Mars with its cold, oxygen-deprived, resource-thin conditions, and hopefully make a way back to Terra. You can make it as a civil uprising in which multiple factions are presented to a party. It is likely that one faction's plight will be championed and the underpinnings of war will be set in motion. And so you can kind of pit them against each other and join a side. It's a rescue mission for those leftover Terran survivors that are left on Mars to be able to hopefully get them back home. Or you can uncover the secrets of Shangri-La and learn the magics of the Martian planet. They will seek to uncover this power and bring it back to Terra with them. Or you can just go there to slay the dragon, man. It says, boiled down, the adventure could simply enlist the PCs to go to the Step Pyramid and defeat the evil creature. This says Gonzar, but I think that's a typo. It should be Gosnar because it's Gosnar throughout it. So there are some little bit of blips here and there. And then it says like this: this could be made to look like a simple fix to all the Martian woes, and who doesn't like a good boss fight? Or it can simply be a mission to explore strange new worlds. Very cool. So time and a time, the Lost Citadel. So the Citadel, because of the power of the ritualists, they were able to make it so that days in the bubble around the Citadel are equal to years outside of it. And so this obviously poses some cool dilemmas with the PCs, is if they leave something outside the bubble, it's going to age. When they come out of it, maybe they've made a contact with an NPC. That NPC is now going to be very old. That's why it shows this dude here looking old. So some cool stuff. It completely could change the actual geography of the planet. As canyons may be choked with rubble, cave systems collapsed, jagged ridges made low and rounded. So very cool to be able to change the way that Mars is. And then you've got the faction. It says faction action. You've got the Martian ritualists. Those are the turds that have tried to bring you here. And they say they believe that this new infusions will lead to a restoration of their planet by the god Gosnar, and perhaps the unlocking of magical arts far beyond those of their forefathers. So they're trying to use the players as pawns to sacrifice them. And they're going to be kind of your main bad guy. And this part here was not in the actual book. This was in the field guide. And they've incorporated it here. And this tells you more about what size of the membership is, the territory, the values, the common activities, what important people are, some plot twists, and how they react to the other factions. And I really like that. That's very helpful. You've got the Mask Order of the Ancients. This is 12 Martians that are inside the ritualists, inside the Citadel, who have pledged their lives to the banishment of Gosnar and all his devotees while bringing about a return to the culture's former pantheon. So they are, in essence, trying to undercut the ritualists. And again, the same type of information from them. Very helpful. The Forlorn Ones are going to be descendants of the ancient Martians, now live as refugees. And this is going to be pretty much your populace of the planet. And again, what they think about stuff, important members, and so on. You've got the Martian Militants. These are going to be the militaristic refugees of the Forlorn Ones. These are the ones that make frequent attacks on the ritualists, and they're going to be kind of your kick-ass people on the planet to help take down the ritualists. And then you've got the Far Realm Soldier. These are going to be from the Space Council Defense Force. They're going to be the ones that have, they are pretty much stuck on the planet, and they want to try to obviously get back to Terra. So that's going to be cool. It says they're not familiar with how life has mutated and evolved on Terra, so they're completely out of, what's going on. Most PSH characters are likely to be considered hostile until proven otherwise. So they don't even know what's going on. It's been so long in the past that they've been here. So there's only 12 to 16 of them. Their territory, what they think about stuff. Obviously important members, sergeants and stuff like that, corporals, as they are military. And then you got the Distrageists. I'm not sure how to say that. There they are. These things are pretty much pawns in the game of the Martians in Gosnar, since the wretched demon forged them into existence in fury long ago, whenever the ritualists and all them pissed off this dude, created these monsters, and all they want to do is consume and eat everything. And I really like, of course, their reaction to stuff. Eat them, eat them, eat them. They don't care about anybody else. Even Gosnar, eat them. So then you got Gosnar. Really cool description of what he looks like here. He believes that he's a god, and he's going to be pretty much your boss for this adventure. And then some questions asks like, what will the Mask Order do if the Seekers are discovered? What will Gosnar do if the Seekers are discovered? So things like that. And then the opening scene is going to involve a robot. Now, one thing about the adventure, it's got some really great text blocks here. I've not really ever seen it really in bold, so it's a little bit different. Some things kind of backwards than what I'm kind of used to, or what you may be used to. Some cool art, and while there is a good bit of art in it, this is such a deep layered mini setting and adventure that it almost seems like it could use even more art, which of course is great because the art that's in this little book has been put into the PDF that you're seeing. So a robot, AI intelligence in this robot body, is pretty much, it brings the humans, the Seekers from Terra to Mars. And what you can do is you can either follow him back to the Citadel and the Pyramid so that they can meet their fate, or you can start doing some hex crawling. So a little bit of story here about this. His name's Wads2, war aide designated to Z, and he was in the first adventure that they put out. So he was a bit of a bad guy in that, so it may be a little bit of a problem with if the players have played that adventure to follow him, but really good stat blocks here, and I like the more information that they have about how he looks and things about him, and that's like that through the whole adventure. So really good information on the way that stuff is and how it's described. So the adventure starts. And then it talks about hex crawling. If you don't want to follow him, if you want to go on your own path, go through this big map here and go explore some stuff, you can. So that's what this is about. Surviving on the planet and going off on your own. It's going to give you some planetary effect quick references here, such as the atmosphere, the low temperature. You're going to take damage each hour if you're exposed to it, the lack of water, low gravity. One thing that's cool about that, you get +1 die to lifting and jumping rolls, +10 range to projectile and thrown weapons. So it's neat that they've incorporated, the way that being on the planet of Mars is compared to Earth, or Terra, I should say. And then it's going to do the type of terrain, a whole bunch of stuff like that. A climate generator, red planet surface encounters for whenever you're traveling along. And of course, this is going to be maybe some of the creatures, maybe a distressed Forlorn One, some different monsters like this guy chasing this thing down here, a dust devil, a pitfall, weather change, lizards, mantin ambush, salt toads. Some really cool creatures have been created for this adventure. So as you can see, that's a pretty good list, as it's a D24. And then you've got surface location. So you're going in you say, hey, we want to get off the beaten path. We want to explore this stuff. So you've got all these different things to go and explore, like this space gate cave, and they'll be listed and numbered on the map that's in here. So you can go and have all these different, encounters and explore and do some great hex crawling. Great piece of art right there. As you go on and explore a lot of the Red Planet, ruins of the Citadel. And I'm going to start going through this because this is with the added stuff. It's pretty big here. So we've got like the village coffer, a disguised passage. This is pretty cool, full of the Forlorn Ones, the militant Forlorn Ones outpost, site of a historic rocket landing, and this is pretty much a rocket, like a space rocket type thing that was used to survey the Red Planet. The astronauts were missing, and it's landed here. So that's something that could happen, that could help you some way in the adventure. A petrified forest. This is a cool piece of art here. I like that a lot. Stairway to Heaven, Brittle Rock Ridge. This huge Leviathan right here, this giant size thing. I really like this is, look how big this guy is, attacking lands of the Leviathan. So, a lot of big creatures are in this as well. And then you got this thing called the Dark Ways. And again, some of this font here just doesn't work for me that great. But these are going to be deep, deep passages in the crust of the planet. You're going to have some different encounters there, and one of those encounters is going to involve these ice tunnels and this gargantuan nematode. And this thing right here looks huge, and there's no real way for you to kill it. There's only ways for you to try to avoid it so that it goes away, and then you can flee it. And then you can have the Time Lost Citadel random encounters. So a bunch of encounters are going to happen on the outside of the Citadel, not inside the pyramid. So again, it's full of random encounters, so you're going to be able to play this multiple times if you have different players. And then there's some keyed encounters when you go around to different areas, like this reflecting pool. There's, just a bunch of stuff in this remnants of this Citadel. The Tomb Raider's tunnel. There's a secret entrance to the stairs. And then, of course, you're going to get to the Great Step Pyramid. And from there, you're going to have random encounters again. Once, a lot of cool random encounters here. Quarry Slime, more Martian Ritualists. Signs of Gosnar that are in the place. Could be these huge rats. Just things that are very strange, obviously, with him. And so that's cool that, not only do you have random encounters on the planet, you've got them in the Citadel, and you've got them in the Pyramid. I like High Muckamuck, too. That's pretty cool. And then you've got key encounters for tier 1. So you're going to start at the top of the pyramid and work your way down. Possibly. There are some other options that you can do. So you're going to have it's small in the map. The Anta of the Ancient Gods. And again, really good written out, descriptive blocks here. My only thing that I think I have a beef with, there's a lot of hyphens, and I'm not exactly sure if it's just a personal thing that they enjoy hyphens to keep it all set, but sometimes it did kind of make me do a little bit of a hiccup when reading it. And then you're going to get to the second, of course, as you go down, you get more and more encounters, keyed encounters for these bigger tiers as you go. And a lot of stuff is going on here. There's ritualists, there's, the cultists are doing stuff. There's barracks, there's armories, there's stuff that you can get, crystal glaives and daggers. There's a storage place, there's lasers and phaser pistols. A lot of the ancient stuff from the Martians' history is going to be here inside this pyramid. So I like this. What's this Martian into? The pursuit of arts. Maybe they're a naturalist. They're obsessed with Terra, and so on and so forth. They're prepared for war. They're a turncoat. And there's just a lot of, like I said, this is where I just can't go through all this. We'll be here for a long time because I really thought this was a very meaty adventure. I mean, I got to give them credit. He really wrote a lot of stuff for this adventure. As you can see, we're on page 71 here. And granted, with the addition of the field guide, it really beefs it up. Then you get into the Temple of Gosnar. You're going to obviously get down to the bottom tier, the Western Catacombs, the lower catacombs. Some cool art here. I like these traps. Backfilled tunnels, some tombs, the offerings. Again here, razor flails with some more traps. Path of the Piercing. And then Sacrificial Pit, you don't want to be involved in that at all. Sanctuary Doors, and then finally the Pit of Gosnar, and here he is. Great piece of art there, very much the way it's described in the book. Given, of course, he's a nasty, nasty foe with spells and all sorts of stuff going on in it. And then I like this. Let's gonzo the shit out of this thing. So what do you want to do? Like how to make the ending of the adventure even bigger. One of them is, in essence, to make the Gosnar pretty much brings the pyramid alive so that it's a huge beast type thing that's going to try to chase down the characters. I think that's pretty cool. And then you've got Inhabitants of the Red Planet. And a lot of this was in the field guide here. So it goes back through the adventure, telling you about each one of the different people, what part they were with, maybe what type of creatures they are, with some great description here of them. I was very impressed by that. I mean, even like I said, you can see this bold sections here. Very good. Dust Devil, I mean, look at that write-up for the Dust Devil. Very big. Forlorn Ones in the certain settlements, the costume guards, Gosnar himself, lava creature. So I was able to find stuff where they said like a lock lizard and then go find this great description here. They could have just given half of this description at this point, but obviously really wanted to fill it out and make these creatures come alive and these turds come alive. So a lot of good creature stats here, as you can see. And then artifacts, items, and other equipment. So different things you might find, the stats for those. And then you're going to have some rules for beast riding and vehicle piloting results. And then the Gosnarian magics. So different spells that have been created for this adventure for your Mutant Crawl Classics game. Heck, maybe they can be for DCC RPG. Again, some of this font here for me just doesn't work. I think it's just a little bit too, it's just too messy. I had to kind of look at it a little bit too long. And like I said, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just old and dumb. But and then you got alternate spells known by Martians and showing you where they are in the DCC rulebook. or as known by Gosnar, like the spells that he has. And then we've got the Lonesome Litany of Gosnar, starting gear packs, random special gear you might find, and a lot of this, again, the back of the field guide, Martian word and name generator, random creature encounters, personality generator, and then the different maps. So you've got the step pyramid tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, tier 4. Great looking maps. They're a little bit dark, I think, in the print version of it. I don't know how the print on demand version of it is, but the Kickstarter version, it's a little dark, but you can still see what's going on. And then, of course, this is the tier 5 with your ultimate fight with Gosnar right there. Okay, and then we've got the map with the keyed encounter areas there, and then you got your drawings of the caverns, and then your map of the Time Lost Citadel, and then here this is the judges list of pre-generated characters, so giving you some pre-generated characters, and then here they are. Some of them have art, which is pretty cool. I wish that kind of all of them had, but if you need some pre-generated characters, there they are to help you out. So let's go all the way back up to the top and let's find out exactly what I think about it at the very end here. Ultimately, I think it's a cool adventure. It's probably a very helpful mini setting if you want to get off of Earth. It does have some typos. The PDF, I think, and the print on demand is probably better than what the Kickstarter's got, even though this little book is very cool. It's neat that they actually made a very good product for print on demand and PDF. Yeah, it's very much deeper than I thought it was going to be. It's not a pick up and play type adventure. You definitely want to incorporate this into some sort of campaign or setting and really give it the attention that it deserves. So thanks for watching. I would suggest you pick it up. Even if you don't have Mutant Crawl Classics, you could probably get a lot of stuff out of this and incorporate that into your own post-apocalyptic game. But thanks to everybody for subscribing. We're over 1,000 subscribers now, so I really appreciate it. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of different type of videos, maybe even some live streams in the future, so stay tuned for that. More videos. Some of them might be like this, some might be the old way. Never know. Going to keep you guessing, and hopefully you'll enjoy it all. So thanks a lot, and I appreciate it.